Boop. Kaboop. Yeah. What was I gonna say, Han? It sounds like you and Remy might be from the same school, or it's possible. How do I? Where are we at there? There we go. There we go. Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
There we go. I hear ya. How you doing?
Yeah, man, thanks. I'm pretty a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Oh no, it's cool. It's fine. Um, do you want to just talk about like who you are and like we can just jump into like everything about your portfolio?
Yeah, sure, sure. Well, my name is Omar, and I'm recently an intern at Atlanta Studios here, a local, game and archivist studio here, local studio in Tunisia. And like, it's a little bit weird. It's been like nine months since my first mission, like ever. And yeah, it's been a crazy period from since like the first tutorial on Blender ever, and things like goes really really weird, like so fast. You start to learn things, and yeah, I'm like glad to be here, definitely. So,
Dude, wait.
um,
You started 9 months ago?
yep,
That's cool,
nine
man.
months to be precise. Yeah, but I took like maybe 2 months playing around, just Blender tutorials and
Hmm.
just doodling and trying some different stuff. After I really wanted to go through environments and game art in general, and yeah,
Yeah.
I started like to learn the basics, and I can say that was the moment when I really decided to, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go for. So I've put a lot of time, put a lot of effort, and definitely it wasn't easy. But yet I am not even like at a level that is like um, that I can say that yeah, I'm here and I am now, let's say, good enough or whatever. But I'm still learning, still a lot to learn, and yeah, a lot of things to learn yet. But it's been like quite good time spending on projects and all that kind of stuff. So I started like doing around, and then started to know about the industry a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about how things works. How like before I didn't know even how games are made. Even if I was studying development or anything like that, I didn't really recognize how CG stuff are really like so effective on game development and all that kind of stuff. All I know is like coding, 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 and
Yeah,
nothing
that's
else
the
except
assumption.
coding. But when you really start recognize the process of creating like games from scratch, it's really like long way. But so yeah, I mean, I started to really like learn. Like I made this curriculum or thing. Like yeah, I want for this month, I want to learn like focus on sculpting, high polys, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll start making some materials and learning about materials, PBR or stylization and everything like that. And then I will start like working around Unreal. Like I've used Unity for I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, I guess. It's not like a long period, but I just was exploring it just in
Yeah.
case if I will have to use in the future. But after that, I focused on Unreal like for the really like took a long time on Unreal, like maybe 2 months, I guess. 2 months, like
Never.
I,
There's never too much, man.
I will come to that.
Just don't
I
burn
was
out.
saying it because maybe Unreal was the, the game engine or in general the tool that I spend most of the time while
Mm.
I'm learning stuff, I mean, from materials to VFX, shading, and everything else. So yeah, I've started learning about like the industry and everything that is related to it, from filmmaking to game art and everything else. And meanwhile, I've started like focusing on the direction of I want to go for. Like let's focus on environment art, how environments are made. I started watching some stuff like that, and then I've split it into stages or levels. I want to learn this, then I want to learn that, and then I want to be better at this and be better at that. And at that point, I started like listening to Empire JDDs and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
and they're really useful. I mean, they're really like full of informations and full of stuff. I've like start sculpting or doing something while listening to it in the background, and uh, to JDCs as well and everything else. So I started to make the idea about how CGI is really like as
So
an
your
industry,
your
fast
brain
growing
hasn't melted
industry.
yet?
And
Like
yeah, I'm like at the edge, man. Probably started to melt down a little bit, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it was a little bit frustrated, like to catch up. You know, tools are coming up fast. Like now we got Houdini, we got a lot of really cool tools are coming
hmm
up, and they are hard to learn. And I need like to learn the basics, and then I need to rush to learn like the new stuff, and I need to like to reach the level that is like required for a person to be working at the industry. So yeah, I mean, when I said 9 months, I didn't like was kidding, but it was like 9 months,
yeah, you're
literally
just
nine
like
months. I think it was
hammering away.
June. I don't know, 9 months or more. It was like um, June last year.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, here I am. I've got like an intern at Lanterns here. They're like a local studio here in Tunisia. They make AAA titles, and they're actually making their first AAA title and ArcViz and all that kind of CG stuff.
Dude, so you're kind of in games already then, kind of.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm still like in the beginning of my intern, so I'm really enjoying the studio. You know, and the first time I stepped in, it was wow, damn, what I was living in. It was like, because I've worked on my own for a long time, I've
Yeah.
always wanted people to collaborate with me, making levels, making even like short movies within a reel, or making demo games like for a game that maybe take 20 to 10 to 20 minutes to finish, some stuff
hmm
like that. But and I didn't find like someone that is really interested in that thing. Everyone I talk about, they will be excited at first and say, "Yeah, man, let's do this. Let's what yeah, why not? Let's make something like that." I mean, and then after a while, I mean, no one really cares. I mean,
Yeah, they lose the momentum. Man,
yeah,
I'm gonna follow you because I I have this feeling you're going to uh, grow quite quickly. Um, I so I'm gonna stop you in your story because like I think that I mean I wouldn't say you're rambling, but the stories that you're telling me, I'm like, dude, this is like you're telling me you're telling me some crazy stuff, man. And you're already kind of doing a form of an internship. How long did you say you've been doing that?
internship. It was now it's been like 2 months, I guess. 2 months,
2 months,
yeah,
yeah. Do
yeah,
you feel like you're
2 months
growing a
is
lot
intern.
while you're there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially working with team and that spirit of collaboration that happens within studio.
Mm.
I'm not talking like about big studios like Ubisoft or everything, but amid like small studios, they're like family. You know, you got that
Yeah.
warm, that thing that is always happening, and a lot of fun's happening. Like there is a lot of fun in the big studios, but within like such I don't know, small like ground family here, it may be better. I don't know. Like I've heard
Mm.
a lot of people talking about that. Some people even think that big like production houses or game studios, like I don't know EA, or
It can kind of
they
feel like a
take
machine if you're
exactly like a
in the
game
wrong
factory. I
culture, I
mean,
guess.
you get in, you make things, you get out. Like that's it. You need to make things good and just leave. I mean, some people like would think about like that. Like for me, I don't know. I've been always loved this stuff. I mean, even before I didn't know how things were made, but I've been
Yeah.
always fascinated by VFX and
Man, this is so
games
intriguing.
and stuff like that. So you got like driven by the passion, and even if you put like a ton of times and a lot of frustrate and like get focused on something until you get, wow, damn, I want to do it anymore, and then 1 moment later, like 5 seconds, you just sit in your desk and start doing it again, and yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I love this stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like stop now. No, I'm,
So I noticed you put VFX in your
yeah,
title as
just
well. Are
just
you getting into that?
to be precise, it's
Mm.
been 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks since I started thinking of transition from level art to real-time VFX, all that stuff. Yeah, I find it like it's not like easy or hard, or they said VFX artists are always needed and there is not enough like VFX artists in the industry and stuff. That's true, but I kind of like it. It's not like I'm dropping down environment art or anything else, but
Mm.
real-time VFX is like a really huge topic in itself and a lot of things to learn. And yeah, I'm start loving it. I'm already doing like some stuff. I've like posted the. I've got a level actually working on. I've posted for 3 weeks now. I guess I didn't even touch it and focused on learning uh, real-time VFX, like
Yeah,
how
so you're
to
going down
approach
the
things a
VFX
little.
rabbit hole.
Exactly. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so
You
okay,
must be thinking I'm crazy.
no, no. I mean, this sounds very familiar. I think you're just vocalizing what I think a lot of people that are endlessly sitting here doing 3D. You're just vocalizing what's happening in most of our brains. Uh, so, so I mean, it's cool to hear about the like your enthusiasm for it and like your drive to want to just keep pushing and get better. Make sure. So I'll just say this: just make sure to not like push yourself so hard that you just lose your mind because there'll always be time. And the other thing too is though you'll never. Uh, this sounds crazy. You will never learn enough. There will
Yeah,
always be something.
exactly. I've, if there is like two things I've learned while trying
Mm,
to learn this stuff, I mean, two things you need to focus on: never say never, and never get satisfied of things you're making. Like, even if you are, I don't know, I'm not talking about anyone, but if you are like best of the best, or maybe someone that knows what he do like really good and got some a lot of experience, but never get satisfied of what you're doing. There is always a lot more to give, a lot more to make,
mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff to be produced, and anything like even like within evolution of tools and hardware and everything else. But as a
Yeah,
human being, because you are a human being, you got like the thing that makes you do like a lot of things, makes you do it. Like don't just stop at that level and say, yeah, now I'm a professional like artist or developer or whatever, and yeah, that's enough. I'm already good. I'm already like one of the best. Or
yeah.
so that will kill like everything that you may be working on for a long time. Like it kills the spirit. You've been like as working on projects and as working on something, you get something grows in you, something that makes you love that stuff. Even if you didn't really love it at first, just admire it or being like,
Mm,
wow, that stuff is crazy. I like it. And a lot of people like they see it like so beautiful, so like crazy stuff, and when they try to learn it, they don't like they don't succeed. They don't even make like the first two steps, or even like try to learn it. They find it like
mm.
frustrating, hard from the first like 2 minutes. But while you're working on that stuff, you get to love it. You get to think a little bit further than just making props and textures. You start to think like really deep from about levels, about visual concepts and things. Like you really start to learning how to communicate within like visual languages, and which is like a deep topic to talk about. But what I want to say is, don't be satisfied about things you've done. Like, yeah, you say, "Wow,
You
I've
could pat
done this.
yourself on the
I'm
back. Yeah,
proud of it. I'm proud of it. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm proud of what I'm doing." But don't get satisfied of things you're made, because I don't know. So in a little bit, like a few days, your stuff will be like outdated, maybe. But that's not the point. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, you start losing some stuff that is like a deep stuff. For professional, like sometimes some people don't realize it. They already do, but don't realize it. It's like you forget at some point. You start to forget like the passion, and you forget how to get forward. You just stuck at that point, and you're still thinking that you're the best, and everyone else is just learning except you. You're already the best, and you're still the best forever. But that will really
That's
like
the stuff that
destroy
keeps
you
me
from the
awake at
start.
night, man. So I have to stop you because this scene here, this House of the Inventor, I've just while you've been talking, I've just been kind of going through some of your stuff. This specific piece, uh, I think stands out the most out of everything that I've seen so far. Um, there
Yeah,
are
well,
issues with it,
they also the inventor.
but like, do you want to tell me a little bit about like what you were doing here? Because before we dive into that, because I think once we dive into that, we'll probably get to your questions and then we'll be done. But what I want to understand is like you're building all of these spaces, and I think what we're looking at is like you're quite comfortable making content and putting in the engine and getting interesting compositions. You're doing effects, you're doing lighting, and you're coming up with all of these scenes. There, the only thing that I'm really noticing is there's little areas that need to be tweaked or tightened. Instead of making like the next scene is like taking like that stage of taking on the feedback maybe like 3 or 4 times on a scene,
Yeah,
where it's
definitely.
like a heavy feedback pass. Because this inventor scene, dude, this is like this is I'm seeing it now. Like your if your next environment is better than this one, like you'll like I don't know, you're growing at a rate that's pretty alarming. um, but you're also like if you sound as enthusiastic as you do right now in 10 years, you'll be up there, but you'll also still be trying to push yourself further.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, do
Well,
you want to talk about this House of the Inventor?
yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I've
Like,
loved
what was
working
the
in
goal
this
of this?
sea. I was like a little bit at the, I don't know when I posted this.
This is 3 months ago.
Yeah, I've been like focusing on steampunk stuff. Like, I've got this weird passion about topics, maybe like for 2 weeks or I you find me like focusing on something like even if it is like not related to game or anything else, just
Mm,
in my mind there is always like some topic that I am like running through or thinking about on anything. And at that moment I was like fascinated by steampunk style and anything related to it, and I was like flying into Pinterest each and every like hour
yeah.
and 2 hours and trying to fill my head with ideas and concepts and everything, and like trying to understand how like steampunk things are made of and purpose and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, so you're understanding the world building aspects of steampunk.
exactly
It's like
trying
what
to
makes
figure
it
out like
steampunk, yeah.
how exactly how makes it like so good steampunk, because you can make a pipe and a lamp and yeah, it's a steampunk. No, how they made it to be like I found some concept art, I found some like levels even made maybe in little pieces, and it was like really good. Like they managed to control the tone and control the lights and make the colors like so beautiful. Like and it is meaningful. I mean, if you make an environment that is so
Mm,
beautiful but have no purpose or has no idea going on, just a mess. Maybe it's a noise, but a beautiful noise, but it's not like something that is quite bit interesting. So I tried to figure out about that, but still like didn't get out with a quite clear idea. So
mm-hmm.
I started from making some. I've started from making some props. Let's go. Let's see like some ideas about props. How like the basic things, the elements that is making steampunk is steampunk. And so I've tried. I've made some lamps. I've started with making
Yeah, this
lamps
design for this lamp is
and the
pretty cool.
bulbs. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I find it as concept, I guess. Yeah. So and then I've tried to figure out like how to manage to make something for a steampunk style thing, for a steampunk thing. I mean, and it has to be an obvious steampunk thing. I'm not. I've think about making a back alley or something that is like a little bit outside between like
Mm.
buildings thing. Uh, After thinking about it, I should like make that thing. After
Dude,
thinking
you got to
about,
write all these things
I just
down
made
because like
that.
it's just flooding. You got to write down all these ideas that you have because you'll just have
Exactly.
endless things to work on.
So yeah, I decided to make something for like inventor or at first I was thinking about alley and then say yeah, what about factory? Factory, steampunk factory would be really good. You find steam, you find the colors, you find some life. But after a little bit of thinking, I've said no, no. I may spend like 6 months working in such art. So I decided to make a little like small like a room like this. And
Hmm.
yeah, as you said, it's still like missing a lot and a lot of stuff. A lot of empty spaces. Like there are many leagues to be empty. I mean,
I mean, I don't
and
think it's that empty. I think you're
yeah,
doing pretty good on.
there is some stuff. I guess there is some stuff to be filled out with. I don't know, attention dragging things or something that is meaningful, maybe to play or anything else, just to throw some beauty and meaningful beauty. So yeah, I start like to think about it, and I've come up with this inventor thing idea, and yet I didn't decided to make like I've had this weird habit of starting level and then start to think what to put it in. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'm still like, yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
think, I don't know, I'm gonna make a garage, all right? I made a garage and waiting for some ideas on how to
That's
put it.
that's pretty interesting that you can recognize that.
Yeah, I mean that's like
Yeah.
a really bad thing. I was rushing. I've been like fascinated with steampunk. Yeah, I want to make steampunk. I was like,
Yeah, it
steampunk in
sounds
my
so. It sounds
head.
like you're moving too fast
Exactly.
because like
That's
you've
the
got all
bad
these
thing I mean
ideas.
about it.
I mean, when I look at this scene, there everything is here. Like you've thought about the ceiling lights, you thought about like where books go. There's where there's mismatch is like the way that you're doing the rays in the window, like figuring out how that works so that you can get the correct ray, so it's not just floating in front of it and then being projected outwards. Getting that to work, or like the value of the paper in the albedo, like how bright or dark it is, and getting that to
Yeah.
to blend in with the environment. Like I would love to see some of these scenes in like an albedo and roughness only view, because I bet there's all these small little wins that you can do throughout your entire scene, but everything is already here, so it's just a matter of like polishing it up. Like like you're even thinking about the framing. Like you've got this thing here, and you've got like these like chandelier type designs above that are coming down. So you've got all of the angles. You're just it feels like you're missing. It's like you're taking all of your scenes and you're going like full in. You're making it happen, and then you're like, all right, it's done. Or you ask for feedback. You do the feedback real quick, and then you finish it and post it, and then you're on to the next one, which is really good for like getting used to the flow of like repetition and like modeling, propping, lighting, materials, like done, next, and you just go go go. I
Yeah,
think it's
but
now it's dude now it's time for you to like sit down and like right around
take
the
it
time
easy.
that you feel like it's time to go, you just get high volumes of feedback and understand why the feedback is what it is. Ask like
Yeah.
why they like if someone gives you feedback, you should understand why they're saying what they're saying, because sometimes bad like you'll get bad feedback where you don't really like they say, oh, this doesn't look good because of this, and when they say because of this, if it's not like if there's not a reason behind the feedback that you can understand, then it doesn't like it doesn't work, or you can't learn from the feedback.
Yeah, exactly. I've been like at first, I've been like taking feedbacks and just yeah, what they are saying this like it's beautiful. Why they are saying that thing is wrong or that I've been like that kind of stuff. I don't understand like what they've been saying. He told me that maybe it's because of this, maybe it's because of that, and all of that stuff. But I
Mm.
didn't really at that point. I don't really like understand it. I still not once now. I figured it out. But back then, it was like a little bit confusing. I've
Yeah.
started like watching the scene and start to figure out what is wrong. Sometimes because you've worked on piece like for so long, you don't start like you forget about the style or forget about
how,
light and everything. You start
how long
to
did you
lose the pace or
work
start to
on the
lose.
inventor house?
I guess I don't know if it would take maybe 2 weeks. I guess 2 weeks.
2 weeks. How long are you doing this a day?
How?
Like how long are you working on 3D a day?
Like it depends. I mean, sometimes I might spend like 2 hours to I don't know. Sometimes it goes for 6 or 8 hours like per day.
Yeah.
If I don't have nothing to do, and yeah,
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I don't I'm college student.
Yeah.
I study university, so I've got some days that I don't study in, so I put a lot of effort in art. And yeah, that's those days when I get like really melting, you know,
Yeah, yeah, you're like really into it. Yeah,
8 hours like making, and you, as I told you, you start to lose like the understanding of stuff. You start missing things out. Sometimes texturing, sometimes lighting and everything. But most of the time, I figure it out like maybe 2 days later, or I don't know, tomorrow after I get some sleep, I
yeah.
start to think to see things clearly. So at first I didn't really like realize what they were talking about. So
Mm,
someone would tell me, you got it's too dark, and someone else would tell me it's too, I don't know, some spots are really too bright. They're like making it confusing, and other one would tell me uh, make some space in the middle, and everyone would tell you something. But after a while, you start to really understand like, what
yeah,
is composition and what is like uh, the feeling of the scene, and you know that
man, you are flooding
when
the hell out of your
someone
brain.
so yeah, I'm in love. I've always loved like feedback. I mean, even it was like really harsh, or even someone. I remember that I made a level. I don't know. I've deleted it. I was like making like shitty props, like making anything I would like think of. I've made a sofa. I've made like I don't know a chair. I've made a glass of water, and I've made pipes and throw it into a
Mm,
level. It doesn't make any sense. And I've made some textures like it's corridor futuristic thing, and I've put some beds here and some beds there and a toilet here, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, I've thrown it into body count, I guess, and
hmm.
someone just tell me, "Yo, man, what are you making? What is this?"
So,
And he's like he's still a
mm,
student like just me, still like someone who's learning, and he was like generous enough to give me some real like good feedback, a long feedback.
yeah,
And yeah, that's how to learn things,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
feedbacks are
you
awesome.
get
They
feedback from your peers, and you get into a really good
they
spot.
get evolved a little bit.
I think so. We're 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 getting close to the end of the call, but I wanted to make sure that you got some feedback and then you got some questions in. So the main feedback I was like I already told you a little bit about like okay, just making sure that you're taking on all the feedback and then uh, understanding why it's being said and then being able to turn that into an action that you can do on your scene. The only other feedback I think I would give is to really unify all of your thumbnails. You want to watch out for like clipping assets on the edge. You want to unify all the little logos, like just put the Unreal logo and the Marmoset logo in just one corner, or they don't have to be there at all. And then just like yeah, I think that'll help a ton because right now when you look at your portfolio, it's
It's a
logos like
mess.
all over the place. But did you have any questions that you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So starting with this portfolio stuff, I mean, I've always like heard person talking about if you are like learning things, don't go for big like levels or don't go for wide stuff. Just focus on dioramas and focus on props and
Mm.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, how much like that shows your I don't know the I've heard that some people like was talking about another thing. They say that if you don't like show that you can handle big environments, then you lose a point. You might not get hired for that. And some people like told me to don't show too much of your work. Don't show like too much breakdowns. Like I've been like started to I don't know. Even like capturing shaders and everything else, everything posting it because
Mm.
one of my job like interviews, oh, not interviews, it just they just respond me like a day after I've submitted the application, and they told me we're not like going forward. I understand I don't have like, an outstanding like portfolio or anything, but they told me that I don't have like a breakdown on low points there.
Mm.
Uh, uh, I want to asking about that stuff. How
Like
detailed you should
what
go
should
for
you be
breakdown and
right?
exactly, yeah. How what to
Let's
really
see
focus
here.
on breaking down. or just avoid like
So I
over
really
like
like this scene. Um, so what I would say, let me see if I can scale this down as small as possible so we can see all of the images. So you've got some breakdowns at the very end. I actually didn't know you had breakdowns at the very end because I never got that far down. You know what I mean? I started scrolling back up to look at other images. So I think one thing I would do is if you do a video or like you have your key like main shot, you do the main shot or video, then you do three,
and then breakdowns.
maybe three images, and then one what I call like a gym shot, which is like every asset just kind of laid out like you have, like this stuff. You should be able to
Yeah.
do this in one image. Like this bottom one, this is enough. You wouldn't need to post these two. And then yeah, I think the only other thing you could do is like uh, one asset that's really complex, like maybe like the steam uh, pressurizer thing. I think that's like a steam pressurizer, or it's like a
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, this thing in the bottom left corner here, um, taking that and then doing a breakdown showing the wireframe and how you've textured it, like what the flat textures look like. That's enough, because then you could maybe do it with the clock as well. So it's just this two assets that are fully broken down, and then yeah, that means you would end up with, let's say you've got a video, the main shot, two shots, a asset breakdown, and then one or two assets. That's 7 images max. I wouldn't go beyond 7 images. Seven's already quite high. I would try and stick around like 5 or 6 maximum per post.
I've always had this like thing that I should really show the level from all angles, from all
Hmm.
places,
Yeah, and you
show
could do one angle and
everything,
it's
all
good.
corners. Like, yeah, I mean, that's like how to do it. So another question:
Hmm.
how really like while you're already in making the level and you already finished blocking out things and started like building assets and placing and tweaking stuff, playing around with some lights and
Hmm.
stuff like that. How to keep yourself, I mean, to keep your eyes on a targeted like visual, like I want to do such a style. How to keep yourself on the line, don't lose it. Until
Oh,
now, I'm still
okay,
like
yeah, yeah.
losing it a little bit sometimes. I still like get confused or forget about what I'm really like
So
intended
it's
to
going to be
do.
about placing cameras. So like if you block out your scene and you block out every prop, you prop the scene with your all of your blockouts. So they're not even detailed or anything yet. They're very basic, but you're like, I know that's a stool and I know this is a table, even though it's a box and a cylinder. So you get those in the scene. If you can place cameras and like figure out the camera angles you want to show, focus on those camera angles and nothing else. That's it. If you can focus on those shots and make those shots look good, then you're done. Which means like this scene, like maybe you don't even have to like you've got the table and the where are we at here? The table, the machine in the middle, and then all of the stuff against the wall by the table, like the painting and stuff. If you just had that angle, you wouldn't have to build the other side of the room, which would cut the time down to make the scene drastically. It would go down, right? And because of that, now you can do more content faster, and you can build a scene with less images that looks detailed, and then it keeps you focused as well. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah.
I think we can do
Something
one
else.
we can do one more question if you want, and then
Yeah, one
you
more
can feel
question.
free to DM me if you have more questions.
Okay, thanks. Uh, the dynasty is so great. I mean, damn, I've
Awesome.
uh, uh, everything. Every time I got stuck to something, I just throw it there, and you got, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 persons just like do this, do that, and you get figured it out without even like going for tutorials or anything else. And yeah, I'm really like thankful for that. The real question is, let's say for like a job thing, you like take my I know man. my situation. I am like, let's say I'm an environment artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm aiming to be like real-time VFX like artist as well. Um, will that like make me, I don't know, outstand like out of the crowd, or uh, give me like extra points for like if you are a recruiter maybe, which you will
So,
take like
okay.
for, I mean,
So you're talking about both positions, like you want to be like an effects artist and an environment artist.
yeah,
And that
will that affect like if you are hired or not, or your
no,
recruitment thing?
no, I directly that would not affect if you were hired or not. What it does do is it splits your time up, right? And if that's cool with you, then you can do that. But if you imagine it like this, you can only be doing one thing at a time, right? So if you're building a scene and then you're doing the effects for it, you're doing the scene first and then the effects. And as long as your effects are good and your scenes are good, then it doesn't matter. Now, the amount of time that's required for both disciplines to get both of them up really high in quality means you will have to split your time up. So it could take a while for you to get good at both of them. Um, so what I would suggest doing is primarily focusing on one until you're feeling quite confident in it, and then start turning up the other one to complement your main one. So you could be primarily an environment artist that also does VFX. Because an environment artist has to do so much. They have to do like composition. You're building props as well. You're doing texturing. You're doing lighting. There's like storytelling. There's so many things you have to manage as an environment artist. And then on top of that, you want to do VFX as well. There are some scenarios where you can use the VFX to um, empower your environments, and I think you're doing a pretty good job of it. It's just a matter of like increasing the quality on both fronts. So it just means your time is split, but it directly does not affect your ability to get a job. Yeah, yeah, and like Vince is saying in chat, environment artists will be a good foot in the door, and then you can focus on VFX once you're like, imagine if you just have really good environments and good props,
And then
um,
you start
you get
focusing
that
on,
job, and then you can focus on VFX in your free time,
yeah, I mean
and then you bring that
that's
in. And if you're in a really good studio, they allow you to either work on VFX as well, or you can eventually transition into a VFX position. But yeah, hopefully that that answered that.
yeah. I don't know. I'm coming up with some. Yeah, I mean that's it. That these were the questions that I've got in my mind.
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, if you have more, just message me about it, and do not hesitate to post stuff and critiques and tag me on a post. I like responding to people's work, so do not hesitate to tag me,
Yeah, thanks, man.
dude. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. I'm loving this whole your whole philosophy and stream of consciousness.
Maybe just crazy. I don't
No,
know.
no, you're doing fine.
Uh,
But cool, man. It was a pleasure. We can
yeah,
talk.
thanks,
We'll
man.
talk later. It's good to hear you as well. Put a name to the
Thank you.
a voice to the name.
Thank you, man.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Later, man.
All right, bye.